Harold Perkins will be here.
Speaking of 5 stars.
Jacoby Matthews will be here, who is the highest-ranked uncommitted prospect in the state of Louisiana. Of course, Matthews is the 5-star safety out of Ponchatoula. One of the storylines here that I don't know that we've talked about a little bit is that Hank Tierney, who was Ponchatoula's coach for the last couple of seasons, and he's a legend as far as high school coaches are concerned in the state of Louisiana. He went back to Shaw right after the season. He used to be the coach at Archbishop Shaw and was moved after the season. Not moved, he accepted the job back at Shaw to be the head coach over there. So Hank Tierney, who's been a real kind of safety net, or at least safe place for coaches down on Ponchatoula's campus as far as getting to Jacoby Matthews, he's not there anymore. And
have we talked to him before on our show?
Hank Tierney?
Yeah.
I think we talked to him about TJ.
We did talk to him
about
TJ Finley.
About TJ Finley, because he coached TJ Finley.
Okay.
But him not being there, I think it helps LSU in the sense of, they've got a really good relationship with the family. Frank Wilson knows the dad. He's done a really good job of reestablishing LSU, kind of how they feel about Jacoby Matthews. And, they're getting some NIL stuff done for him, which, when you're competing against Texas A&M, that's also the thing that Texas A&M has now done moving forward with how they're going to operate. Like every season, they're going to have these NIL deals in place for these recruits that are going to pay them upwards of $30 million. And for a guy like Jacoby Matthews, who's in, LSU's backyard, grew up loving LSU, at one time was committed to the program, and he gets an opportunity to step out and see what's happening around other campuses. And he comes back to Baton Rouge and says, hey, man, I don't need what Texas A&M was offering, but I just need something. I need a little love. I mean, if that's going to be what's happening out there, and people are going to be offering money for me to come to their school, I really want to go to LSU. But I can't do it with a clear conscience without some type of financial advantage of going to the school. And, LSU has become very relevant in that space in the last 2 months. I mean, compliments of, like kind of out loud Gordon McKernan. He's done a lot to really move the meter for LSU on that. But, that's going to be kind of the way of the world in college recruiting in these big time guys.
Well, you saw where they both, Harold Perkins and Jacoby Matthews, you saw their final 3, right? They're both the 3 same schools, Florida, Texas A&M, and LSU. And they've obviously have talked about playing together, whether it be the tweet that you saw them send out with Jamal Adams and Devin White. So I think they might be tethered together with the 3 schools being the same. And you see this in recruiting occasionally. Well,
how does that happen, though, from Texas? And like, how do you get that? You usually have a package deal of guys that
camps.
Yeah, grew up together, or played with each other in high school or whatever, but like they're completely different states, right?
Well, they'll probably run like the same recruiting circuits together. It's like baseball where you see you see people around at showcases and stuff. Like, damn, I think are we best friends?
Yeah,
So I think
you're really good. I'm really good. Let's go be really good somewhere together. Yeah, I get it.
Like I'm from New Orleans. Like, oh shit, you know LSU? Yeah. It's like that's all my final 3. But I think because of the NIL that LSU got in that game, I think they both were going to go to Texas A&M together. Because like you said, how can you ignore it? Like, I'm not going to go play somewhere for free.
Well, it was Denver Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, think about...
That was a real kick in the dick.
Think about the conversations that we had with Denver Harris's stepdad and what he told you about the feelings that Denver Harris had for LSU. He grew up saying it was his dream school. He brought him to LSU on Saturday nights. He wanted to play at DBU. He wanted all of what comes with being an LSU football player. That's what he wanted his entire life, up until Jimbo Fisher sat in his living room and said, here's X amount of dollars to come to Texas A&M to play football for the next 3 to 5 years. You know what? Forget LSU. I'm going to Texas A&M.
For 1 year. His transfer portal.
Well,
LSU put the whole squad together.
The way that I've understood that these NIL deals have been put together for Texas A&M is that they're like on 3-year contingent deals.
Yeah, someone emailed us about that and told us.
That you can't just...
break your contract?
Yeah. You would have to forfeit money, or you have to pay money back, depending on how it works. I don't think that every player has the same.
Should be.
Yeah.
I don't think that every player has the same contract, but I think that I don't think I know that they all are performance based.
Oh, so it's like an Antonio Brown contract, or if you get X amount of, is it that? Like if you get X amount of yards, you get this? Or is it performance based on what they do for the NIL company that they signed with?
It's performance based on the contract as far as the payout goes. And it's also signed not year to year like the scholarship is. It's signed at a minimum of 3-year deal and a maximum 5-year deal. So if you've got these guys, I mean, it's not going to be a mass exodus next year at Texas A&M. You know, like where people are like saying this is going to blow up after a year. It might, but
they ain't going to lose much money.
They're not going to lose
on Texas A&M side,
and they're not going to lose these guys.
Yeah, it says it's going to be spread out over 3 to 4 years, and if they do decide to transfer, they have to pay all the money back to whatever booster they have an NIL deal
for
with.
the year for the next years though, not the years they already got.
Right.
Not the first year. Like you can't just take the money back if you're there for first year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's how the contract should be. The guys still can leave and go get money somewhere else if they want to play.
Oh, then you're going to have schools that are paying, paying for those other 2 years, so other boosters,
buyouts,
right, no doubt,
player buyouts.
I mean, that's how it should be. You shouldn't be able to give a player some money
and then
him leave and him still have the money. Like that's a normal. That makes sense.
So some of these guys are going to have to get bought out from whether it be A&M or any NIL school. If LSU wants to get in the game, it's like, look, I have 2 years left on my deal. Can you all take care of this? And then we'll strike another NIL deal that'll probably a little lesser in like base salary or whatever because of the buyout. Is that where this is going?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to professional football.